What's up, everyone, and welcome to Jurani Talks. So, since this will be my first video on YouTube, I'll be giving you a brief introduction about who Jurani is. Okay, so I am Jurani J. Padilla. I'm 19 years old and I am from the Philippines, specifically from Antique. I am currently studying at the University of Antique main campus at Sibalom, Antique, taking the course of Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in Social Studies. Okay, so this is my very first video on YouTube and I'll be sharing to you some interesting, fascinating facts about history that will probably make you wonder, is there such a thing? Okay, so without further ado, let's talk about it. Did you know that the shortest war in history lasted for only 38 minutes? Yes, you heard it right. 38 minutes. Less than a single episode of your favorite Netflix show. And of course, if we're going to compare it to the World War II, which lasted for 6 years, it is way different. So what really happened in this shortest war recorded in history? Okay, so let me tell you the wild and interesting story of the Anglo-Zanzibar War of 1896. The date was August 27th, 1896. So the war occurred during that date. The place Zanzibar, you can find this in East Africa. Nowadays, it is a part of Tanzania. At the time, Zanzibar was basically a British protectorate, which means that Britain controlled its foreign policy, but it still had a local sultan, like a king that rules the people in his land. Now, this is where the tension takes place. The things got out of hand. The ruling sultan, Sultan Hamad, dies out of nowhere. He just died suddenly. And when the Britain received that news, they were planning to replace Sultan Hamad with their preferred candidate. However, there is a guy named Sultan Khalid which seizes the palace. He grabbed the opportunity to lead the Zanzibar, to become the Sultan of Zanzibar. Of course, Britain wasn't happy and they were furious. Sultan Khalid ruled the Zanzibar for 3 days. That's from August 25 to 27 until they were attacked by Britain. Of course, it is understandable why the British or the Britain got mad. It's because that Sultan Khalid just declares himself as the new Sultan without the approval of Britain. Okay, so that is the reason why things got out of hand between the Britain and the Zanzibar. Okay, so some of you might be wondering, who is Sultan Khalid? He is no ordinary guy because he came from a royal family. He is wealthy. In fact, he is the nephew of the former Sultan. So that is also a reason why he's not thinking of the consequences and he just declared himself as the new Sultan of Zanzibar because, of course, of the family roots. And because of that, the Britain sent a message. Step down or you will be facing the consequences of your actions. However, Khalid refused. He refused to leave. He refused to give up the throne to Britain. After that, on August 27th, At exactly 9:02 a.m., the British warships opened fire on the palace. Okay, so they had 3 cruisers, 2 gunboats, and a few hundred sailors and marines. However, Khalid has around 2,800 men. And here's an interesting fact about it. Those 2,800 men that Khalid had were poorly trained. They have no experience in war, in battle. Okay, so the palace catches fire. The Sultan's artillery was destroyed. Over 500 of Khalid's men were killed and some were injured. Okay, while the British only suffered 1 injury. Okay, so at 9:40 a.m., just 38 minutes later, Sultan Khalid flees the palace through a back door. And just like that, the war is over. Sultan Khalid escapes to the German consulate and eventually gets smuggled out of Zanzibar. Of course, the British installed their guy, Sultan Hamud, because they prefer that candidate compared to Sultan Khalid. So the Zanzibar is under the influence of the Britons, so they cannot do anything about it back then. The British installed their guy, Sultan Hamud, and Zanzibar stays under British influence until it gains independence decades later. Okay, no treaties, no negotiations, just boom, 38 minutes of chaos. And that is the shortest war recorded in history. It is interesting, right? And it is shocking as well. And to be able to see the misunderstandings between 2 parties. Keep this in mind. If someone tells you in the future that you cannot do a war for 1 hour, tell them about the story of Zanzibar. Okay, so that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe, and of course comment down below on what are we going to talk about next video. Bye, I guess.